In the last video, I showed you how to add a system configuration field in Magento. This is a very basic way of interacting with the Magento database. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a model. A model is a more advanced way to interact directly with the database. Essentially, it maps a PHP class to a MySQL table so that you can read and write data. So let's get started. First, we need to edit our config.xml file. And we need to tell Magento how to map models to different database tables. This snippet of XML will do that. We need to do one additional thing, and that is tell Magento to use these resources. With this code in place, we can start to create PHP models that link to the proper database tables. The example resource is preparing two database tables to be used by our models. We create our PHP models in the model subfolder. Let's start by creating a new file and saving it as event.php. The file is going to look something like this. The first important thing to note is that the model extends from a Mage Core Model Abstract class. Also, on line 17, we're initializing the resource for this model. In addition to the model class, we need to create a resource for these events. Create a new folder called Resource in the model subfolder. And inside of the resource folder, create a new file and save it as event.php. The resource class and the model class look similar. However, resources need to extend from a different core class, and we also need to initialize the primary key of the table. This table doesn't exist yet, so let's create it in MySQL. For now, we'll keep it simple and have one column just for the event name. We can test that our model is set up properly by using a controller. I'm going to use the controller from the previous exercise. And you can see I've already added the code necessary to test this. I'm simply instantiating the model class, and then I'm setting some data on the model and saving it. So this should create a new row in the database. The following lines are presenting a message to the screen telling me what the ID is so that I can verify that it's incrementing the ID each time. So with this saved, when I navigate to my back end of Magento and go to where my controller is loading the code, I should see this event saved message. And as I refresh the page, I should see that the ID is incrementing each time. So this means that our model is successfully saving to the database. So let's recap. The snippet of XML code that we added to our config file maps our database tables to our model classes. In order to read and write from these tables, we needed to create both model and resource model classes. When it comes down to using our models that we just created, we use the Mage getModel function in order to retrieve an instance of that model class. And then we can use Magento's magic setters and getters to add data to that model. Once we save the model, it gets written to the database. Coming up next, I'm going to show you how you can use module installation scripts to automate the creation of your model's data tables in MySQL. So stay tuned.